join me in the pledge, please. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, everyone. We'll call the October 3rd regular board meeting to order, and we'll start with public comment period. Is there anybody from the public like to comment? Doesn't look to be. All right, and then the next thing up is our board meeting agenda, and I believe you had
We have two additions, Mr. Chair. The first is acceptance of a donation for the drone program, which would go under the consent agenda. And the second is acknowledgement of the county recorder's resignation notice and a discussion regarding a public hearing to appoint the position. That would go under my item.
Okay. All right, I will look for a motion to approve the agenda with those changes.
Mr. Chair, I so move that we accept the agenda with the two additions as amended.
All right, I have a motion by Commissioner Bredesen.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Johnson. Is there any further discussion or questions? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, motion carried. Next up, years of service recognition. Mr. Bob Groshans. Right there, 50 years at the Highway Department. That puts me in first grade. Just for reference for everybody. But,
Yeah, I think
Thanks a lot.
what's that?
That's the first time? Yeah.
Bob, we have a plaque here for you. Congratulations. There won't be, I'm sure we won't get to do this twice in my career. Any tips for the new guys?
No.
Well, enjoy your retirement. Thank you very much.
Well, it's been good.
Good. Good to hear. Thank you.
You bet.
And you're still, how many years on the town board on Union Grove?
I don't even know. It's been at least 12.
Oh,
I had to resign.
I know you did for para or for
I think I'm
Rose.
running again in April. Nobody else wants it.
Yeah, sure. One of them highly sought after jobs. So. All right, Bob. Thanks and good luck.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, next item up is the consent agenda.
Mr. Chair, move to approve the consent agenda as amended, and you'll go through it then, right?
Sure.
We have a motion on the consent agenda. Do I hear a second?
Second.
And a second, motion Commissioner Johnson, second Commissioner Schiefelbein. Any discussion? Andrew, do you want to walk us
Yeah,
through?
I can walk through the different items. We have approval of the September 19th and 26th board meeting minutes. Social Services, County and Hospital accounts payable. Approval of quotes from Vertex Unmanned Solutions for the purchase of 2 drones. Approval of the 2024-2025 biannual Minnesota Family Investment Program Service Plan. Approval of the termination of the current agreement with Eagleview and approval of an updated agreement. Approval of an agreement with McLeod County for the use of the household hazardous waste facility. Approval of fee adjustment for mixed solid waste mattress and couches at the transfer station. Approval of a conflict waiver with Rinky Noonan for the South Fork 1 Watershed 1 Planning Collaborative. And approval of the acceptance of the donation for the drone program. That is the consent agenda.
All right, is there any questions?
Just a comment, we'd like to thank the Rob and Arlene for their donation to the drone program.
Yes. I had a question on the payables. Phil, nice 50-some thousand for salt. Is that up? It jumped out at me.
Probably. It's been
Yeah.
up the last few years. I can look, but year to year, that number changes a bit depending what we used. I know last year we used almost everything we had.
I'm sure.
But the price per ton, I'd have to look to see how that compares to the prior year.
Okay, it just jumped out at me. I didn't know if that was up a little bit, or it seemed a little higher than in the past, but.
Unfortunately, it's a sign of the season, right?
No, I know, I got asked last night if I was gonna plow snow for the church and for another business. Yeah, we're having that discussion already.
We know it's coming.
All right, and we have no resolutions in here, so I will call the vote. All in favor of the consent agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next item up, Phil Schmalz.
Good morning.
Morning, Phil.
Phil Schmalz, Public Works Director. One item for consideration this morning. So the item I have before you is to consider approval to purchase our 2024 plow truck. So
Apparently your lights are on in your truck. Oh, really?
Oops,
All right.
okay.
How long will they stand? They'll go up by themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
That's automatic.
Yeah.
We're gonna call time out.
Sorry, Phil.
Whoops. I should have brought
seems like
these.
a light agenda.
Yeah, it is. It is.
We're gonna have to rub it into Beth. She was gone and we're almost through our agenda at 8:40.
Woo-hoo.
And we got a delay.
A delay.
Too delayed. Started late.
Couple delays. Oh, well.
I shouldn't curse it. We still got a couple items left.
I get in trouble when I say something about a light agenda.
You did it. No, the payables are approved. I can start signing them while Danny's.
Okay. Yeah.
Something to think about when we go to AMC, it would be fun to have a basket
Yes.
that would have feature some of the things from our county.
We talked about that. Is that always at the?
But we've talked
Annual?
about it for 2
At the
years. We
annual
haven't done anything.
Something we could do is we could all pitch in like $20, and then someone could go around and buy stuff from different places, right?
Like, maybe.
Actually, we're not.
Minnesota rubber.
Oh, yeah?
No.
I'm sure people
No.
have like tchotchkes and
So
stuff.
at least
I'm
I
sure
got my
people get some
pop, so.
beef sticks from- they have the
So it
candy
worked.
knees, they have.
It was worth it.
I text someone and said, hey, tell them my lights are on so I
So
can go
you're
get
gonna-
Oh, we can run around to do that.
I turned into a slimy politician already, huh?
No money.
I'll take the Powerball too.
Tell me we're still recording.
I'll still give it to you.
Future winners.
So
That sounds about
I want
right.
that on there.
The lights were not on.
Oh, they weren't?
No, but I got my pop, so. All is,
You can
all
blame-
is well.
You can blame Paul for that then.
Oh, exactly.
The nice thing is if you would've had your lights on and speeding, it would've been harder to detect.
Yeah, that is true. That's true.
All right, well, just like the Vikings, our 30 seconds of timeout is over. Bill?
Ready? Okay.
Yeah.
So here to ask for consideration of the approval to purchase a 2024 plow truck. As you know, we run a fleet of plow trucks to help clear our snow and ice off of our roads in the township system and use it for miscellaneous maintenance tasks in the summer. Historically, I typically come with this request in the spring, but because we chose not to purchase a truck last year, I wanted to wait until the preliminary levy was set to make the request. So the request is for a 2025 truck, but it's in our 2024 budget, and if we would lock it in, well, after approval, we expect delivery in the first quarter of 2025. The pricing that you see in here for the truck of the Western Star will be expiring. That's being renegotiated on the state contract bid in December. So one thing to know is that number is the old number. I put it in here for reference, but it will go up. The manufacturer is accepting orders at this time. So the issue with waiting till December is the queue is stacking up, so we're gonna fall behind in line if we don't commit to the order. I don't expect it to be a massive price increase. That's why if you look, their expiring price for the truck is about $142,000. And I'm looking for approval of a not to exceed of 155. I expect that'll be well within any increase they put on in December. The price from Towmaster is up from the truck we discussed at the last board meeting for the old Mack, because that was 2024 pricing. This is 2025 pricing, and it should be locked in for Towmaster.
Phil, I know I've asked you this before. How much do we get for our old ones when we retire them?
5, 10, 15,000 usually. When we're done with them, they're pretty well used up. So the trade-in value is usually not a lot.
Yep.
And a side note, we didn't get a state contract quote for the Mack, just due to what we've been dealing with their backlog and some of their adjustments. Historically, we wanted to go with the Western Star on this one. I would expect if we did get a state contract price on the Mack, it would be similar or higher than the Western Star.
Do you ever get a bid from a different truck company?
We've had Sterling's Internationals in the past,
Okay.
with mixed results. Part of the reason currently we're trying to stick with Max and Western Stars, because we want some diversity, but not too much, because that way we can stock parts, have reliable outfits to help us out when we can't fix the stuff, and our own mechanics can become familiar with our equipment. So that's the reason we've been going with Max and Western Stars recently.
Is there, just a thought here as you're talking about running to end of life? Has that been, is there a spot where we could trade earlier on in their life expectancy and maybe financially?
It's possible, it's not something we've explored.
Yeah,
I mean, because to do that, we'd have to accelerate our purchasing schedule, which
I understand that.
I
But
don't.
that's a one-time acceleration and then you'd be on a, I was just curious.
I'm
I mean,
trying to
it's
think.
an initial investment, but if,
Polk County advertised what I'd call a partially used truck. That was just 2 weeks ago. And I wanna say they were looking to get $70,000 for something that was maybe 10 years old. So
so there ain't a whole lot of it.
I would say it'd be hard to make that cash flow better than using them up.
Okay, but sometimes that works, not,
Mhm.
you know, certain items, and I didn't know.
With pickups, that was a strategy we were pursuing before the cost of state contract pickups changed dramatically the last few years. But with plow trucks, I don't know if we'd have that same advantage on the state contract.
Okay. All right, any other questions on the plow truck?
So what is our life expectancy of the average plow truck?
15 years is our target. I'd have to look, but I thought we were getting like 250 or 300,000 miles on them at that point. But 15 years is the goal. I didn't put it in here, but I think our oldest plow truck is a 2006, maybe we're up to. 2002, I think the oldest blade is an 02. The oldest truck is a 2006, so we're not quite to that 15 years yet, but that's where we're trying to get to.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve purchase of a 2025 Western Star 47X plow truck from Boyer Trucks of Lauderdale, Minnesota for a not-to-exceed price of $155,000, and snow and ice body equipment from Towmaster of Litchfield, Minnesota for a not-to-exceed price of $185,000.
All right, I have a motion by Commissioner Bredesen,
Second.
second by Commissioner Schiefelbein. Is there any further discussion or questions? Hearing none, all in favor of the plow truck, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Phil. Next up, County Administrator.
So I have received a letter requesting that one or two memorial benches be installed at the Law Enforcement Center in memory of Deborah Peabody. Deborah had a love for law enforcement, and there's a desire to provide some memory for her, and the requester thought that this would be a perfect fit for it. So, Sheriff's Office has reviewed this request and is favorable towards it. The benches would include the Sheriff's Office seal and, in memory of information on there. Final location would be determined, once we get through this process. We'll work with the Sheriff's Office and maintenance to find the best spot for the 1 or 2 benches. But the letter was included with the packet, which provides information in a little bit more detail. But with that, I'm available for any questions.
All right.
We
Thank you,
currently
Andrew.
don't have anything out there for someone who's visiting or someone with young parents and somebody else is in to sit down on outside.
Correct.
So it would be a nice addition.
It would. Yep.
In the summer.
And it's-
No,
And that's contemplated for right out this side, out here
I
somewhere?
believe so, yeah. There, again, the exact spot hasn't been identified yet, but
Okay.
well, we might wanna be careful with our identification until we get our,
we'll coordinate it with the remodel
With the
project.
remodel.
Not,
1 year bench, huh?
we do not want to do that.
No, no.
oh, it sounds like a great
Yep.
donation. Any other questions on the benches?
Mr. Chair, I move to approve a request to install up to 2 memorial benches at the Law Enforcement Center.
All right, I have a motion, Commissioner Bredesen,
Second.
second by Commissioner Johnson. Any further questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
So the next item that we have is, on Friday, I received a letter from the county recorder indicating her intent to retire as of December 31st of 2023. Assuming that the board wants to continue the work that you started last year with appointing the row officer positions, we have a couple of options of how to move forward. So there's first 2 motions I'll be looking for from you today. One is acknowledging the resignation of the county recorder, and the second is a motion to vote, a motion and a vote directing staff to schedule a public hearing to consider a resolution making the position appointive, and that would take place on November 7th. And at that time, we'd be able to talk about how does this position fit in with a larger, organization of the office down there.
All right. So on a motion accepting
Yep.
the retirement first,
Mr. Chair, I so move that we accept the resignation letter. It was a letter of resignation. Okay.
I have a motion by Commissioner Bredesen,
Second.
second by Commissioner Schiefelbein. Is there any further discussion or questions?
We don't accept it.
Is that a question?
No, it's not a question.
All right. Hearing none, all in favor of accepting the recorder resignation, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. And now we have a resolution that we want.
Nope, the second would be a motion to direct me to schedule a public hearing to consider a resolution
Oh, gotcha.
making the position appointive, and that would be on November 7th.
I would move that motion.
You wanna repeat it?
No.
Yeah.
I have a motion, for Andrew, by Commissioner Johnson for Andrew to, do the research on a public hearing and, establishing a resolution.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Bredesen. Is there any further discussion or questions?
No?
Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And I did just want to take a moment and give a little recognition to Chris for the years of service that she's provided the county. She was originally hired to work in the auditor's office as an account technician, which she served in that role for 10 years before becoming the elected county auditor in elected county recorder in 2014, a position that of course she's held since. During her time, she's expanded the use of technology in the office, digitizing various historical records, expanding our e-recording of documents, and making documents more accessible to the public through our online database. So I just want to say thanks, Chris, for all the years of service that she's provided to the county, and we appreciate everything that she's done.
All right,
Very good.
yeah, thank you, Andrew.
Onto my report, have just a couple of items for you. First is yesterday, Sharon and I met with our financial consultants, PFM and Standard & Poor's, as part of the bond rating process. It's, we need to get our credit rating, and then that's gonna go out to the lenders who are gonna, provide us with the bids on our bond. We're gonna receive that bond rating from S&P next week, and I'll let you know as soon as I know what that is. So it was a very good meeting, felt very positive, so we'll see what our credit rating ends up becoming. The bids for that bond are gonna be opened on October 16th, which is the day before our next regular meeting. And then the bond council is gonna finalize a resolution that you will need to adopt the next day. We will be including a draft of the resolution without the specific information about the financial institution in the packet, so you'll get a chance to see what, the meat of it is before we get those final details and put it in there. And then lastly, on the remodel project, we've been working with IT, maintenance, social services, and public health to set up a plan for temporary staff or workspace at the Family Services Building while work is being ongoing. The folks who are being impacted with that are all on the north side of the building, the public health and social services spaces, and they're gonna move into their temporary space next week, and we anticipate construction to begin the week after that, October 16th. So we are gonna be installing temporary signage at Family Services so that folks are able to find their way around the building, and of course, posting information online as well. And then lastly, I'm gonna be out of the office tomorrow afternoon through Friday at the Administrators and Human Resources Conference. So
All right,
Andrew, over at the Family Services Building, there must be an IT hub now, or,
yes, there's a couple of IT closets over there. Yeah.
oh, there is? And everything spiders off of.
Yeah, there's one closet on the south side of the building, kind of near the Veteran Service Office, where we're running a lot of the lines over towards the annex.
And everything will be new lines then, or are we using some of the existing, or?
For this temporary setup, we're using some of the existing. It's all gonna get, fully built out with a new IT closet down on that end of the building when that space is renovated.
Because there's a new type of wire, they've kind of moved on from Cat 5, haven't they?
To Cat 6,
Is that what it is now?
I believe so.
Sounds believable anyway.
I mean, it's the next number up, right? So it's.
You said Cat 4, I'd be like, "Ugh."
I just
Tough.
remember us talking about it when we took that tour of Wright County.
Yes.
They were
That's right.
talking about the,
Yeah, upgrading the cabling. Now, we're not fully pulling out all the cabling that's in the building, so it needs to be able to integrate with what we have, yeah.
On the remodel part, how is Litchfield paying us back for their portion? Because Woodland Centers were on
Yep.
basically a payment
Yep.
plan or whatever.
We're sending Litchfield an invoice. They're gonna
Okay,
cut
so
us a
it'll be
check.
just a straight,
Yep.
okay.
They want to pay up front. They figure that's the easiest way to handle it.
It's only like 40,000.
It's actually less than that, because when there were some things that some bidders attributed to alternate two that really are not alternate two work. For
Oh,
example,
gotcha.
the steel supplier included steel in there. There's no steel in that part of the building, so they shouldn't be
Okay.
attributing cost to it. It ends up being closer to $28,000,
Oh,
which is good news for Litchfield.
yeah, good, good.
Okay. Any other questions? That concludes my report.
all right, thank you, Andrew. Commissioner updates.
Want me to start?
Let's start over in Harvey Township.
Yeah! All right, life is good on the prairie.
You open,
Yes. One question. Now, I don't know if this was Danny's question. I was listening to the Litchfield, City Council report on my way in, on the radio. Tim was just here. Litchfield City Council said that they would be paying, is it 28,000 for, was that the question you just
Yep.
asked?
Yes.
And I was curious, that's it?
That's what it costs.
How many deputies do we house in the law enforcement center now?
So,
Or not deputies, police
well,
person?
the only work that's happening that's impacting the Litchfield PD space directly is there's a break room and an office. Litchfield PD is short in office based on what we've said that we would give them in that space. So we want to give them that extra office so that they're back up to what, through the lease we're supposed to have for them. There's an office that they currently use, and then there's the break room next to it. The break room is going to become an office. So what's happening is that we're moving the wall to make the two rooms equal size, because one's kind of an undersized office and the other will be way oversized as a break room. So that's the work that's occurring that's really impacting Litchfield PD.
Okay, and they pay a rent
They do.
to the county. They're not in an ownership situation with us, so it's a rent.
Yep. The lease is something that we're, I've been communicating with my counterpart at the city about the fact that we need to update the lease. It's an old lease, and so we need
Okay.
to, figure a bunch of different things out, but we wanted to know what was gonna happen with this remodel project before we really dug into that, because that'll impact, total square footage that is allocated to both sides.
You bet. All right, thank you. Okay, that was my one question. My report, the last reports were given Tuesday, September 19th. Danny and I had our University of Minnesota Extension meeting that afternoon. This week, right now, October 1 through 7, is National 4-H Week. Any student interested in becoming a member can stop in or contact the office up at the fairgrounds. This Saturday night, now October 7th, we are having a party at Fiddler's Green. It's going to be a barn dance supper, and it's to celebrate the 100 years of 4-H in Meeker County. I'm looking forward to that, so that'll be a fun evening.
What night is that again?
Saturday night, the 7th. So supper at 6, program at 7, and a dance at 8 o'clock. So I'm putting on my dancing shoes. All right, there's an opening for a University of Minnesota Extension Board member. If you think of any potential candidates, direct them toward either Danny or myself, or they can go on the, I believe, the county website to take a look at that. There are 371 4-H'ers in 8 clubs with 120 volunteers that currently make up our 4-H program in Meeker County. So that's very good. Then the University of Minnesota educators gave a presentation. They are emphasizing there are multiple classes and workshops available for both adults and kids. And that was a good meeting. Then I attended the Community Health Board Public Health Meeting that Thursday, the 21st. That was down in Hutchinson. They had been struggling with an IT incompatibility issue between the 3 counties. That has now been resolved. When employees went from one county to the next, traveling between, they were having some connection troubles, but that has been resolved. The board is going to have a St. Cloud State University student working with them in the 3 counties, kind of like an internship. They will receive 900 hours from this student internship situation. It's a very good deal. There's no cost to any of the counties for this student, and a wonderful collaboration I felt between college and the CHB board. Then we had a nice presentation from the Community Health Association, and they told us that every 5 years we have to submit a goal plan, and that now is due in 2024. So they're working on that, and that is my report.
All right. Thanks, Julie.
You bet.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
Paul, what you up to?
Well, we had a MAP meeting, after our last commissioner meeting, when we met downstairs. We're progressing. We have some drafts. As well, if you were listening to the news, maybe you were in here before, Ron Dingman talked on the radio about their council meeting in the cannabis and how they want to work with us, and so that whatever ordinances come out of it are very, very similar. So that was good. I had a PAC conference in Wilmer. PAC for 4 just got a very nice grant, so financially they're going to be stable for the next 3 to 4 years without too much concern. It's grant money, so it's not something they have to worry about paying back. They just have to follow the guidelines. Then CPT in Morris. This was a full board meeting. We have made Mike Kohler the executive director. And we have a position for developmental director, or software development director that we have posted, so we can keep driving the tax program forward. And then there's also a director of technical support. So made some structure changes there to create more of a pyramid and line things up. So I think we're taking some steps in the right direction, so that was good to see. Then on Thursday and Friday, Centric Care hosted a board retreat. It was a great opportunity. I got to meet the individuals from Paynesville. I believe that's your brother-in-law, huh?
I have to claim them.
Okay. And also from Benson. I sat at the table with Benson. It was Will Dolan and I and Mary Ellen, the new interim CEO. Kind of saw a different side of Centric Care, and I was impressed about their culture and what they're trying to do in this area. And so came away from that very pleased. Also heard a fantastic presentation, and I recommend it to EDA, from a Ben Winchester. He works for the University of Minnesota. He works out of St. Cloud, and it's about housing. And, you know, and we keep hearing this thing about small towns are dying, small towns are dying. He said, why is it then there's no housing available in small towns? It's all bought up. So I think Mary Ellen is planning to have some type of get-together with all of us, the city officials, and some of the players in this community. And I think she's gonna ask this Ben Winchester to come and make a presentation. Probably the EDA also. As you know, with all the jobs we have here in Meeker County, we need housing in order to draw people here. But he makes a dynamic presentation, I think, especially for you guys on the EDA. I think you'd find it very, very interesting.
Is he a developer?
No, works for the University of Minnesota. Nope. Nope, not a developer. But he could have talked I saw on the agenda, I thought, oh boy, a speaker for an hour and 15 minutes. That's gonna hurt. He could have talked another 2 hours. This guy was down home, just like us. And the way he spoke and when he fielded questions, he didn't give you an answer that was like an opinion. He pulled it right out, and he had numbers to back it up. It was a very, very great presentation. So I'm hoping that we can get that put together. We were hoping. Will said we've got to get the city to see this because this is information they've got to see or hear. So we're going to try and get something put together for everyone to come to. But yeah, it was very good. Centric Care's monthly payroll is $100 million. So their payroll for a year is $1.2 billion. So a lot of interesting information that I did not know came out, and it was fun to learn because just getting a chance to talk to these other facilities they have and what's going on and how things have gone. Although we've only partnered with them from a management agreement standpoint, you know, down the road, this may be the partner that we seek to affiliate with. So.
Do they have any other management agreements with any other?
Well, most of their management agreements started out that way, but have moved to full affiliation.
Gotcha.
So,
Yep, because Paynesville is owned by Centric Care now.
Yep.
So there's no current management agreements other than us.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think because Benson has moved to full affiliation now.
Yeah, okay. Because there's stuff going on there.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff going on that they had to
Yeah.
work through before they would get to that point.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's it.
All right, thanks, Paul.
Mine's brief. Julie covered extension a lot better than I would have. So that's all I had. So
Okay.
move on.
All right, and actually, I didn't have a lot either with the last week of the month, and a meeting right away here early in October. Basically, since the last board meeting at Grove City Care, everything is going pretty good there. They've, still trying to work through their DHS grant, and, they need to have commercial auto liability insurance, and they don't have an auto, but you need to have, so. I don't need to explain. The state has some rules that we're working through to get that taken care of. And then the lease between the city and Grove City Care is done. And actually, there's been some changes in the admin office there in the city of Grove City, and I'm hearing all positive things there. So some significant improvements and some changes in personnel and procedures and stuff. So I think things are looking up in the Grove City community in general from that perspective. Then we had the work session, special session on the building project. And other than that, then yesterday at AMC Zoom meeting just to go over the priorities that came out of the fall conference and just kind of tweak some of them and check for redundancies between areas and stuff. And so we had an overview of the priorities and streamline them a little bit and get them ready for the annual meeting in December. So, and I've got a MRC meeting in Alexandria Monday morning at 10 o'clock. So that's kind of what's coming up for next week. So, other than that, the weather is nice and the combines are rolling. And I got a load of beans on the truck, so I probably will adjourn this meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
So
Beth is gonna hear
Yes,
about
she
that.
is.
Yeah, exactly.